Hi, I'm Manny and I work in the UK People team as an employee relations partner for Bupa. I wanted to share my story with you. Is really as part of the Open Up campaign. So when I was around 14, I started to notice that my mental health and my mood wasn't necessarily the same as my friends, my family. I started to notice that I would have kind of quite extreme moods, from feeling really elated, feeling really happy, feeling like everything's going brilliantly and buzzing, and then I would come kind of crashing down quite quickly into kind of depressive spells and have quite bad anxiety. I'd been on and off in terms of how I felt and what I said to people. And I didn't really confide in anybody or talk to anybody about how I felt. I felt I was abnormal. And it got progressively worse. I'm now 27, and I'd have issues at work where I wasn't performing. I wasn't myself, my true self, and people noticed that, and I found that quite difficult because when I felt low, I felt like there was a fog in my head and I couldn't think clearly, I couldn't see, and I would end up in meetings with my previous managers and they'd ask me to answer to why I wasn't performing and why this piece of work wasn't at the right quality, or why I've dropped the ball on something else. And I could never tell them the truth, because to tell them the truth I'd have to admit it. I'd have to admit that there was something wrong, and I wasn't willing to do that. So it resulted in me job hopping quite a lot, and not staying very long, not having a career. Personally, it affected things. It affected my friendships, relationships, and it all came to a head in November of 2015 when I was at my lowest that I've ever been. I was really suicidal and I tried to act on that, and I was self-harming, and I ended up being admitted into a mental health hospital, and I met a psychiatrist and my life changed. I finally had somebody to talk to. I was finally able to tell somebody what I'd been going through and what had happened, and that was a huge relief. I'm now medicated. I got psychological support. I went on a 12-week mindfulness course, which was all about how to manage and regulate and understand your emotions. And I was diagnosed with PTSD, which is a post-traumatic stress disorder, and an emotionally unstable personality disorder. It's also known as BPD, borderline personality disorder. It felt right for the first time talking to somebody about it, and then I started to tell people at work, and I was met with so much love and positivity, and I thought, this is fantastic. If only I could have done this back when I was 16, 17, 18 and so on. I'd have found it so much easier, and work would have been so much easier and enjoyable, and I'd have had somebody to talk to. Recently at Bupa, I had a change in medication which made me quite unwell, and I fell into depression, and the support that I received from my manager and my manager's manager was completely out of this world. They were authentic, they really cared, and they are the two values at Bupa, and I couldn't have asked for more. And I look back and I think it is about opening up. It is about talking about how you feel. It is about sharing the struggles that you have. and I've never had a negative experience from doing so. It's time to open up.